Hey guys, welcome back to Based MMA. In this video, I'm going to be talking about UFC 293 and the fact that the main event was just announced a couple of days ago. I know I'm a little bit late to this. I know this was in the news a little bit. It was rumored that Sean Strickland was going to face Israel Adesanya in Australia at UFC 293, but now it's official, guys. Dana White announced a couple days ago. Like I said, I'm a little bit late to this news, but he announced that Sean Strickland will be facing Israel Adesanya at UFC 293, guys. And to me, this is crazy. This is crazy because there's about a month until that fight happens and you're barely announcing it. Like, how much preparation is Sean Strickland really gonna have to face Israel Adesanya? And to be honest, guys, I have to call out the UFC because they were trying to set up my boy Dricus du Plessis. They knew that the winner of Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis was not going to have enough time to be ready for Australia. So why the hell would they make the Australia card in September? If they really wanted, you know, Dricus du Plessis to fight Israel Adesanya, which is now a huge fight, right? Due to the beef, due to all the controversy that's going around that fight. You know, that fight's going to be huge. And I feel like the UFC didn't really set up, you know, they didn't really set up this event for Adesanya to really face a winner. And they had to get somebody last minute. So my thing is, like, does the UFC not look? Do they not plan in advance? Like, did they not think, like, man, if Robert Whittaker beats Dricus, he might not be ready to fight a month and a half later, or Dricus, or like, what if they have an injury, or what if they have a war? Like, did the UFC matchmakers not think about this? Like, come on, guys, come on. How can a guy with 92 subscribers that is a nobody think about this, but not the UFC, a multi-billion-dollar corporation company? Like, what the hell happened? UFC 293 is absolutely disgusting. And yes, am I happy that Sean Strickland's gonna fight Israel Adesanya instead of somebody like Jerry Cannonier, or like maybe like an injured Dricus du Plessis? Yes, I'm happy because it's Sean Strickland. But let's be honest, especially if you're like me and you're a big Israel Adesanya hater, the reason you're excited for this is not because of the fight itself, but you're excited because you know that Sean Strickland is going to roast the crap out of Israel Adesanya at the press conference. And I pray to God that they do not censor Sean Strickland, because I really want Sean Strickland to call out all the hypocrisy of Israel Adesanya. The fact that this guy is disgusting, the stuff he did with his dog, that he can call him the Chinese champion, that he calls him out on all the hypocrisy of Israel Adesanya. And if you're an Israel Adesanya fan, like, you know, I don't know how you could be an Israel Adesanya fan after all that cringe, but if you are, you know he's going to get roasted at the press conference. But the fight itself, guys, the fight itself is not going to be that competitive because Sean Strickland, he doesn't throw any head kicks. He stands very, very straight up. You know, has a good jab, has good striking, but when it comes to leg kick and versatility and movement, like, he's gonna get destroyed. I mean, we saw what Alex Pereira was able to do with Sean Strickland with his weird ass stance, and his stance all, you know what I'm saying, with his chin up in the air. Like, Adesanya is most likely gonna catch him. If he doesn't catch him, it's gonna be a boring decision. Like, I mean, I hope Sean Strickland is able to get something done and surprises the world and shocks the world, and somehow Israel Adesanya is just falling off, and maybe he's, you know, not in his prime anymore. But, like, let's be honest, guys, like, Israel Adesanya is going to destroy him. So just the main event isn't really that appealing, like, in terms of fight itself. I know most of us are going to be excited for the press conference. And then besides the main event, you have Tai Tuivasa versus Alexander Volkov as a co-main event. Are you serious? That's more of like an opener for the main event, or a headliner of the prelims. Like, how is that the co-main event for this card? Not even a championship bout. Like, you have Tai Tuivasa who's coming off a terrible loss to Sergey Pavlovich last year. Like, it's not like both of these guys have momentum and, you know, the winner might fight for the title or something like that, where, like, there's huge stakes for that fight to be the co-main event. No, there's not huge stakes. You have Jamie Mullarkey being the third fight on the main card of UFC 293, man. This is disgusting. I mean, the Kai Kara Franz fight versus Manuel Cap, like, that's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fight. But, like, look at this card. I mean, Jack Jenkins, that's a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an okay fight. I think somebody pulled out. I don't know if Casey O'Neill pulled out. Mike Diamond, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some good fights in here, but, like, man, this card needs a lot of work, and it's only a month away. And they did this last year as well with UFC 279 in September. Like, they didn't announce Hamza Chimaev versus Nate Diaz until like a month before that happened. So like, what's up with the September cards? Do the UFC just not care about September? Like, why does this keep happening? And also, like, stop, like, what was the point? Like, what was the point of making the Australia card in September, in my opinion? In my opinion, they should have gone back to Vegas, make the Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko 2 fight as a co-main event. You make Adesanya versus somebody, but you don't make it in Australia. Like, they could have done a lot more things. In my opinion, I felt like they just kind of lazy, like they were too lazy and they just wanted to go back to Australia, but they didn't really think about like the card itself. Like, a lot of the people from Australia fought at UFC 290 in July, like Volkanovski, Dan Hooker, you know what I'm saying, JDM fought recently, you know what I'm saying. So like, did they even really think about like, man, maybe we should hold on to those guys until the Australia card so we could really have a stacked card, guys. And look, I'm not like an Australian or anything, I'm clearly Mexican by my accent, but I mean, I feel bad for those Australians. Like, I know a lot of people pre-order tickets. Bro, sell your ticket, bro. That card is not worth it. Like, that card is not worth it. Like, let's be honest. Like, might as well just go to the press conference. You'll probably have a more entertaining, you'll probably have more fun watching that than this actual card. You know what I'm saying? This card is disgusting. Disgusting. And I know a lot of you hardcore fans. I'm a hardcore fan as well, but we can't excuse the UFC for this, you know what I'm saying? This card is absolutely disgusting. Like, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, look, we have UFC 292 coming out, really solid card. UFC 294 is also pretty solid, Charles versus Islam Makhachev. Then UFC 295, we have John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, and most likely we're going to get Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards, which is another good fight. And then December, hopefully we get Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prohaska, and maybe Volkanovski versus Ilya Tapora for the co-main event. Like, that'd be incredible. But like I said, guys, like, this card sucks. This card is terrible. And you know, hopefully the card's enjoyable, because sometimes the cards that you least expect to be entertaining end up being the most entertaining cards. But this is just dumb, man. And I think what the UFC should do, this is what they should do in my opinion, to make this card a little more solid. All right, now I just complain for like the past 5 minutes, but I should actually, you know, give them some advice and try to help out this card. Now, in my opinion, they should add JDM versus Wonder Boy, add it as like the third fight in the card, and try to make that happen. Like, pay Wonder Boy Thompson, try to get JDM in there if he's ready, and try to make that fight happen. Or maybe get a Song Yadong or someone, try to make some matchups. But I mean, I don't blame fighters for not wanting to take it, because I mean, it's 1 month until this card happens. Like, you don't really have enough time to be ready, and that's the thing. It's like Israel Adesanya hasn't fought in like since April, so he's had enough time to recover. And you're getting Sean Strickland, who fought recently in July. Like, I know he beat up Abu's Nurmagomedov pretty easily, but still. And then realistically, like, who they really wanted was DDP versus Adesanya, but DDP just fought in July, so it's not enough time for him to be ready. So like I said, guys, UFC 293 is disgusting. The only thing I'm looking forward about this card, I will admit, I'm a little excited, because UFC 5 is going to get announced. And I hope the game is good, because we need a new UFC game. Also, if you guys want to play UFC and you think you're better than me, make sure to add me on PlayStation at Base MMA, and I'll play you and I'll destroy you in UFC 4. So yeah, guys. But anyway, yeah, UFC 293 is disgusting. I had to make a video about it because just a last minute card, and they did this a year ago as well. So I don't know what's happening with the September cards. I feel like they forget that they have to put a pay-per-view in September. And my thing is like, okay, if you're struggling, right, because they're stacking the October card, you're stacking the November card, then don't have as many fight nights, in my opinion, and try to make one solid pay-per-view, and maybe like one fight night instead of like 3 fight nights with crappy cards, and then a pay-per-view that shouldn't even really be a pay-per-view, in my opinion. Like, I prefer stacked cards and a lot of UFC fight nights, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but in my opinion, they should have added Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko to this card and try to stack this card as much as possible, guys. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on UFC 293, and I think the card is absolutely disgusting, guys. But please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.